Perfect. Good evening and namaste to the esteemed dignitaries and our distinguished guests. I am privileged and proud to stand before you all today as we celebrate a significant milestone in our nation's journey. As we unveil MODIALOUGE by Dr. Ashwin Fernandes, which stands as a remarkable testament to the transformative ideas and vision that have guided our country. As the evening unfolds, we are honored to welcome our chief guest, Srimati Smriti Irani, former Union Cabinet Minister, Government of India, Mr. Sujit Ghosh, Indian Deputy High Commissioner to the UK, and Lord Raj Lumba. MODIALOUGE is not just a collection of words, but a symphony of aspirations, a testament to our collective will, and an ode to the spirit of democracy and diversity that defines us. It weaves together the story of countless individuals, all converging towards a singular beacon of hope for our future. This remarkable work is more than just a book. It celebrates the spirit of India and its transformative journey under the vision of leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi. To initiate the event, we will now go ahead with the lighting of the lamp.
A very good evening to everyone present here. Thank you to our esteemed dignitaries for the lighting of the candle. I, Medini, am honored to be your host for this evening. This book has been authored by Dr. Ashwin Fernandes, a distinguished thought leader and academic known for his contributions to the global higher education landscape. He has made significant strides in advancing educational excellence and fostering international collaborations, and has collaborated extensively with institutions across the country, offering strategic guidance and support to help them achieve global recognition and improve their academic and research standards. Dr. Ashwin Fernandes remarked on the book's importance, stating, "Launching MODIALOUGE marks a pivotal moment in understanding the impact of effective communication in governance and society. MODIALOUGE is not just a reflection of Prime Minister Modi's communication styles. It represents our nation's collective voice. It is now my pleasure to invite Dr. Ashwin Fernandes, the author of MODIALOUGE, to share his journey behind this transformative work."
सपनों का भारत नए उड़ान का भारत, साहित्य और संस्कृति का अनमोल खजाना है भारत. A dreaming India, an India ready to soar, a treasure trove of literature and culture is India. Namaskar, our distinguished guests, Srimati Smriti Zubin Irani, the former Union Cabinet Minister. We have Deputy High Commissioner of India to the UK, Mr. Sujit Ghosh, and Lord Raj Lumba, along with various dignitaries here today. I am proud and privileged to speak to you for the launch of MODIALOUGE here in the United Kingdom. MODIALOUGE is a book which encapsulates the spirit of change under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This book is not just a compilation of the Man Ki Baat series of Prime Minister. It is the aspirations of 1 billion Indians and their dreams shared through the lenses of Man Ki Baat. The heart of this book lies in the radio program, a groundbreaking initiative by Prime Minister which has never been initiated by any global leader in the past, which has turned a simple broadcast into a nation-wide dialogue. It is a series which touches India's soul, reaching every corner of the country from cities to remote villages. Through Man Ki Baat, PM has brought in front the unsung heroes, farmers, students, scientists, and laborers, making their struggles and accomplishments into a collective celebration of progress. MODIALOUGE has portrayed the stories with great insights, making it in a way which resonates with readers across ages and helps them identify with each other. The book reminds us that leadership is not just about policies, but is about people, their dreams, aspirations, and potential. It is impossible to overlook the shared history and the cultural and value-based connection between India and the UK. This relationship now is one of equals, partnerships that has grown stronger in recent years. The Indian diaspora in the UK, close to 2 million strong, is a shining example of this connection. These individuals are not merely economic contributors to the British economy. They are guardians of Indian culture, bringing the colors of Diwali, the flavors of Indian cuisine, and the vibrancy of Bollywood to this land. This reminds us that the soul of India travels wherever we go. The partnership has become much more effective. From historical connection to strategic partnerships, under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, the India and UK relations shifted from mutual historic presence to mutual goals. A little bit about the themes in Man Ki Baat. There are 3 major themes I would like to talk about from the 33 themes presented. The first is empowering youth through education. Prime Minister Modi firmly believes that Yuva Shakti Bharat ka bhavishya hai. The youth are the future of India. He has created awareness among millions of Indian minds through this leadership supported by policies such as the National Education Policy and Skill India movement. This book celebrates these efforts, showcasing how educational reforms and programs like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao are shaping the future of India. The second is the Swachh Bharat mission, the Clean India campaign, which is not just about cleanliness, but is about the dignity of various people across various households. The story of Mahendra Rawat, a 29-year-old from Madhya Pradesh who gifted his sister a toilet on Raksha Bandhan, showcases how collective actions can create a lasting change. And finally, Digital India. Programs like Man Ki Baat has connected with 99% of the Indian population, promoting various digital platforms along with radio to foster participation in democracy. There are real life stories in Man Ki Baat. The story of the BSF officers climbing Mount Everest, not just to conquer the peak, but also to clean it, a way of supporting Prime Minister Modi's vision of Swachh Bharat. Another story of Himayat, a program from Jammu Kashmir that has helped in creating employment for thousands of youth, giving them hope. These are not just stories, but stories of a nation which is building together with the belief that every step contributes to a larger goal. India today stands as a global leader. It is not just a country, it is a country of ideas, innovations, and aspirations. Under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, the world has come together under the national philosophy of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, one world, one family. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, Modialogue is not a book that tells you about India's past or present. It is a dream for tomorrow, a tomorrow where each and every Indian contributes their bit to create a society that is progressive, liberal, and dynamic. Let us pause and consider how we might contribute to this vision, the vision of Viksit Bharat. No matter where we stay, in London or Lucknow or any part of the world, we have the power to shape the world because each and every step taken by our citizens can bring us closer to our shared dream. Tonight, I would like to leave you with these heartfelt lines that capture the spirit of rising India. चलो फिर से वो सपना सजा ले जो भारत को नए आसमान तक ले जाए चलो फिर से वो मशाल जला दे जो हर घर में उजाला कर जाए जय हिंद थैंक यू
Thank you for your kind and inspiring words, Dr. Ashwin. Lord Raj Loomba is a distinguished philanthropist, visionary leader, and a tireless advocate for global social causes. As the founder of the Loomba Foundation, he has championed the rights and welfare of widows worldwide, transforming lives through his unwavering commitment to justice and equality. His work has been recognized internationally, earning him praise for his contributions to humanitarian efforts. It is our privilege to have such an inspiring figure with us this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in inviting Lord Raj Loomba to share his thoughts with us today.
Good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to address such a distinguished gathering this evening at the Nehru Center on the occasion of the UK launch of MODIALOUGE, Conversation for Viksit Bharat. Let me begin by extending my heartfelt congratulations to Dr. Ashwin Fernandes for his insightful work in this book by capturing the transformative impact of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Man Ki Baat initiative. Dr. Fernandes has provided an invaluable lens into how this unique platform connects millions of Indians, igniting their aspirations and laying the foundation for a developed India, Viksit Bharat. We are privileged that Mr. Sujit Ghosh, Deputy High Commissioner of India, is amongst us here today. Your Excellency, we are honored with your gracious presence. I also wish to warmly welcome Srimati Smriti Irani ji, a leader whose tireless advocacy for women's empowerment and education continues to inspire us all. Your contributions have been instrumental in turning the Prime Minister's visionary goals into transformative realities for millions of people. The theme of this event, India's progress towards Viksit Bharat, is one close to my heart. It reflects not just a vision, but a collective mission to build an India that is inclusive, equitable, and globally respected. The journey to Viksit Bharat is deeply intertwined with the principles of inclusive growth. Under Prime Minister Modi's dynamic leadership, India has taken remarkable strides in uplifting marginalized communities, especially women and children. Programs such as Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, and PM Mudra Yojana have empowered women to not only dream, but also actively shape the nation's destiny as equal stakeholders. India's achievements on the global stage further highlight this remarkable progress, from leading G20 presidency to the historic Chandrayaan-3 mission. India is emerging as a self-reliant nation and a key contributor to the global order. This is a testament to the leadership of our Prime Minister Modi ji, who envisions an India that is not only economically robust, but also socially inclusive and globally influential. The interim budget of 2024 echoed this vision. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman outlined a framework for development that is all pervasive, all around, and all inclusive. The government's focus on the poor, women, youth, and farmers underscores the principle of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, Sabka Prayas, uniting every segment of society in this transformative journey. As we discuss Viksit Bharat, I would like to draw attention to an often overlooked issue: widows' empowerment. This cause is central to achieving inclusive development. The Lumba Foundation, which I have the privilege to lead, has worked tirelessly in this area. In 2016, our empowerment project for 5,000 widows in Varanasi was launched by none other than Prime Minister Modi ji himself. Through this initiative, widows were trained in tailoring and provided free foot-operated sewing machines to enable them to earn livelihoods and lead lives of dignity. It is a powerful example of how targeted interventions can create lasting change. More recently, in January 23, the Lumba Foundation, in partnership with the US-India Strategic Partnership Forum, launched the Prosperity for Widows project in Uttar Pradesh. This initiative aimed at empowering 5,000 marginalized widows and their dependent youths, including unmarried widows, is on track for successful completion by December 2024. Here, if I may mention, we empowered 1,000 widows in Amethi, your constituency, or your past constituency. Our global work also includes advocating for widows' rights through initiatives such as International Widows Day, first launched by the Lumba Foundation in 2005 and adopted by the United Nations in 2010, following our tireless campaign for 5 years. A recent study titled Not Leaving Widows Behind, conducted by researchers at the University of Cambridge, underscores the profound impact of investing in widows' empowerment. It shows that uplifting widows strengthens families, communities, and societies, making it a vital component of sustainable development. This work is an essential part of the larger vision of Viksit Bharat. True progress lies not just in economic growth or technological advancements, but in ensuring no one is left behind. As we celebrate the launch of MODIALOUGE here in the United Kingdom, we must also recognize the vital role of the Indian diaspora in India's development journey. Prime Minister Modi has often acknowledged the diaspora as cultural ambassadors and key contributors to India's global outreach. Their efforts in fostering partnerships and sharing India's achievements amplify the nation's voice on the world stage. The MODIALOUGE launch is a testament to this shared vision. It demonstrates how India's transformative story resonates globally and inspires deeper connections and collaborations. In closing, I would like to commend Dr. Ashwin Fernandes once again for his exceptional work. MODIALOUGE is not just a book, it is a guide for how meaningful dialogue can drive transformative and progress. I also express my sincere gratitude to Shrimati Smriti Irani ji for her inspiring leadership and unwavering commitment to building a more inclusive India. As we reflect on India's progress, let us pledge to work collectively through dialogue and action towards a Viksit Bharat that leaves no one behind. Together we can realize the dream of a stronger, more inclusive, and globally respected India. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you for your thoughts, Lord Lumba. It is now an honor to invite the Deputy High Commissioner to the stage to share thoughts on the diplomatic and cultural significance of MODIALOGUE in promoting India's vision globally. His message will follow a video-recorded message from the Honourable High Commissioner of India to the UK, Mr. Vikram Doraiswamy.
Thank you. Honorable Srimati Smriti Irani, ma'am, Lord Lumba, Virender Sharma sir, Shekhawat Saab, Dr. Fernandes, and friends and dignitaries out here. A very good evening and namaskar to all of you. I'm delighted to welcome all of you to the Nehru Center. This evening's event themed MODIALOGUE, a conversation on Viksit Bharat, is an important one as it focuses on how governments can effectively utilize communication to bring about positive transformation. Man Ki Baat is hugely popular amongst the Indian community here in London, ma'am. I remember how the community turned up enthusiastically early in the morning to listen to the 100th episode of the Man Ki Baat last year at the High Commission in April. Shekhawat Saab was there that morning. I think we did it around 7 in the morning, if my memory serves me right. Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, has through Man Ki Baat directly and effectively communicated his vision on Viksit Bharat, or India as a developed nation 2047, to all of us Indians. Through this, he has inspired Indians to attain greater heights and given them reasons to believe in themselves by showcasing inspiring stories from all over India and outside, small and big stories from rural and urban environments which are firmly anchored in our cultural and civilizational milieu. For the West, the values of diversity, equity, inclusivity, sustainable development has become important values only recently. If you look at the Indian civilization, these values have been our DNA for thousands of years. And that is what has been brought out so effectively by Honorable Prime Minister during his interactions as part of Man Ki Baat. For me, the strength of this initiative is in its success in uniting every Indian around a set of common goals and fostering the spirit of togetherness. I am reminded, if you have an academic bent of mind, to the concepts of behavioral economics, including that of nudge and collective action, and this should be taken as maybe a research project by those of you who are students or academicians or scholars. The other important thing that this initiative underlines, amongst several, is that governance is, as Dr. Fernandes said, and maybe I'm stealing his line here, both about policy and people. The policies, as you would all appreciate, is ultimately about the betterment of the people. I congratulate Dr. Ashwin Fernandes for putting this book together, for getting this story out. I also look forward to benefiting from Ma'am Shrimati Irani's thoughts on the subject, as she's been an integral part of this movement. Thank you and namaskar.
I'd like to congratulate Dr. Fernandes for his initiative in producing this book, MODIALOUGE, Conversations for a Viksit Bharat. This is a very interesting concept because essentially what Dr. Fernandes has tried to do is to put together an assessment and a narrative around Prime Minister Modi's Man Ki Baat conversations. Man Ki Baat has already undergone 115 episodes, and it is one of the most interesting means of communication that the Prime Minister has taken to connect between the people of India and the Prime Minister. So essentially through Man Ki Baat, as we've seen, the Prime Minister takes up stories from the length and breadth of the country, always featuring on something unique, a new idea for development, a new idea for empowerment, a great story of what people in India are doing to change the lives of their communities and their regions. Indeed, Man Ki Baat has actually also featured great ideas from outside too, so it's really an invitation to people outside India too, including from our diaspora, to try and suggest ideas, such visions, and new initiatives that could be relevant for any country, but most particularly India, in its journey towards development. The book, therefore, is an interesting opportunity to frame these conversations and to bring the story of direct communication between government and people more to the forefront. I think that is in itself a story that is worth telling, because a book that does this deserves to be known. So thank you, Dr. Fernandes, for this excellent initiative. And to all of you out here having a chance to read this book, look at the book, pass the story around, and try and get more people involved in giving in ideas for Man Ki Baat. Because this is how your stories will get told. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Deputy High Commissioner, for his remarks, and High Commissioner. Next, we are excited to welcome our esteemed chief guest, Srimati Smriti Irani, a trailblazer in championing education and women's empowerment, who will now take the stage to deliver her keynote address, shedding light on the themes that resonate with MODIALOUGE. Ms. Smriti Irani's reflections in the book emphasize how Mann Ki Baat has been a beacon of hope and inspiration, celebrating India's progress on the global stage. Kindly put your hands together to welcome Srimati Smriti Irani.
Distinguished dais, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that this evening needs a dialogue more than a one-way conversation, for it is dedicated to a dialogue between a Prime Minister and his people. At the outset, let me congratulate Dr. Fernandes for this stupendous academic and, I think, timely journey, which you undertake not because of your foundational ecosystem in academia in India and overseas, but also essentially how you undertook this journey as a citizen to reflect on what his Prime Minister said. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we come to a close of a four-nation tour for a book that in itself is a bit distinct with regards to the engagement I have ever undertaken in my 2 decades of politics. But why give time and go cross-country and across continents for a book? I think one of the reasons sits on this very dais today. Lord Lumba has had a long association with his roots, and one of the reasons why he aspires to serve issues of widows and predominantly women in need is because of what transpired within the four walls of his own home. Inspired by what challenges confronted his own mother, he as a son thought that the best way to give back to the community was to be the change that you wish to see in the world, as Gandhi famously said. Now, given that I am to engage in a dialogue with Ashwin, the author, let me say this room today is filled with those who believe that Bharat will be Vikasit by 2047. And to those who believe us, to those who support us in this journey, who do we speak of today? There are many who come here presuming that we celebrate the head of our government. But those who have been a witness to his journey and have partaken in some of it know that what we come together to celebrate under one roof is the fact that a democratic dialogue in one of the oldest civilizations in the world, we as a nation delivered on the promise and premise of democracy. What is Modi? Not just the head of a government. What is Modi? Not just a political leader. What Modi possibly stands for is potential that every Indian has. To take a few words out of one of Ashwin's speeches, that India forever was known as the land of potential. What Narendra Modi did was to inspire that confidence for us to undertake the journey from being the land of potential to the land of achievements. Today as Indians, we celebrate our potential on many facets of our democracy. That 46% of global digital transactions take place in India is not something that you often hear about. That India, which was a destination for vaccines, could develop one in under 6 months when there was a global pandemic and lives were at risk is not only what India is all about. That we administered that vaccine not only to a 1.5 billion plus population, but we also ensured that 160 nations under Vaccine Maitri could benefit from the Indian scientific community is what India, what Bharat is all about. And that is what quintessentially describes Narendra Modi. That he helps us understand the best of our potentials, that he helps us leverage that potential, not only for our gain, but for global good. So I look forward to the conversation, Ashwin, so that we can highlight much about what is the journey that those few pages in a book hold. Yes, you spoke about one person gifting a toilet to his sister on Raksha Bandhan. But imagine this, On this dais today sits a generation from India that could barely speak that word openly, societally, for it was not forbidden but socially frowned upon to talk about the sanitation needs of women who are financially disenfranchised. That a prime minister from the ramparts of the Red Fort on Independence Day can give a clarion call and tell people of his country that if you want to help women lead a dignified life, let's build them a toilet. But a prime minister from that same Red Fort could talk about menstrual hygiene and appeal to families that, look, we have a system today where a sanitary pad is available for 1 rupee, was a tectonic shift not only in narrative, but how women in my country and across the world were humanized in politics. Today, in this August gathering, sits a community very quietly, Ashwin, which possibly you've not found a mention in anywhere. That is the community Modi reached out to when he first wanted to showcase the vibrancy of our financial potential in a state called Gujarat. The Dawoodi Bohra community sits here quietly, but it's His Holiness Sayyidina Sahib who was the first one, who was one of the first ones that Prime Minister Modi reached out to when he was serving as Chief Minister. When he came up with the idea, what if we create Gujarat as a global destination of investment? Not many had heard of such an idea. Some, in fact, tantamounted it to pure ludicrousy. But His Holiness said yes, supported that idea, and that set a template today in such a fashion that as I speak, in this very city now, is the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh trying to attract investment on such a very platform. So Modi not only sets standards, not only sets examples, but truly is a trailblazer in inclusion, truly is a trailblazer in maximizing our financial prowess. But as Lord Lumba said, what are we as a nation? Only reduced to numbers? Only reduced to what our GDP speaks to? No. What we potentially can be exclaimed for or celebrated for is the sheer grit that each one of us has. And that grit is best described in your book as Modi. So congratulations. Look forward to the conversation.
Thank you for your powerful words and reflections, Ms. Smriti. We will now move on to the moment we've all been waiting for. May I request Srimati Smriti Irani, the Deputy High Commissioner, Lord Raj Lumba, and Dr. Ashwin Fernandes to unveil MODIALOUGE, Conversations for a Viksit Bharat. I would also request our special guests for the evening, Mr. Amarjeet Singh, CEO of India Business Group, Ms. Jessica Turner, CEO of Quacquarelli Simons, to join us on the stage. I would also request Movinder Sharma to please join us on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to present to you a captivating book that captures the essence of our nation's journey under the visionary leader of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Titled MODIALOUGE, this work is a collection of 33 compelling chapters that explore India's transformation across diverse domains. Let us join the dignitaries in unveiling this book with a big round of applause.
bit. Ashwin, sit.
Thank you, dignitaries. Now, I would like to request our chief guest, Srimati Smriti Irani, to join a short fireside chat with Dr. Ashwin Fernandes.
Thank you so much, Smriti ji, for coming here to London on the Four Nation Tour. And in the last 3 cities, we have learned so much about Modi ji and his working style. But I want you to talk to our audience today and whatever we covered in the book, 33 chapters, all about what Modi ji has spoken in 100 episodes. Can you tell us, how is Modi ji's working style? You've seen him from CM to PM, 20 years working with him. What is it like to be working with a leader like
I
Narendra Modi
think
ji?
that if I contextualize it to academia and your experience and your journey, in this very august hall sits a gentleman who was taken on board when I became Minister Education to highlight not only the challenges that we face in technical education, but also to set the house in order. That gentleman in the first row, Anil Sahasrabuddhe, became a regulator, and many presume that, and I'm sure the British experience may be somewhat of the same kind, to get somebody to a position of a regulator is quite an administrative task. I think with Mr. Sahasrabuddhe's appointment, we managed to have the file signed in less than 1 hour. And I think that is the speed of decision making, that once he comes to a decision as to the quality of the individual who can serve the prospects of India better, he does not take much time to take a decision. But there is absolutely no knee-jerk reaction to taking decisions. He's also somebody who is poised to evaluate once a decision is done. He holds dear no one, no individual, no project, no prospects. For him, what he holds personally dear to himself is the progress of his country. So even if I have worked with him for over 2 decades, in fact, 22 years, or Mr. Sahasrabuddhe has known him close to 3 decades, that does not give us the affinity to take for granted our association with him. We are always on our toes, and we know that we will be evaluated for every responsibility given. And I think that's what makes him extremely distinct as a leader, because many political leaders suffer from the premise of sycophancy. Modi does not have that problem.
So is it he's a taskmaster, is what you're saying?
No.
Okay.
You would presume that he stands there with a whiplash, but he doesn't. I think he has created a group of people who prioritize nation over self. And when you work with such a subset of people, you don't need to always hold them hostage to your standards. They aspire to meet your standards. So Modi does not, how do I say this, force you into action. You're a part of his working universe only because you have potentially exhibited somewhere in your professional or societal journey the potential to serve your country, and the potential to serve your country without shenanigans, the potential to serve your country in earnest, the potential to serve your country for a greater good and not maintain status quo. I don't think this is a prime minister or a leader who likes stagnation of any kind. He thinks that if you can, to the maximum of your potential, contribute, he will also know when you've reached your potential. And he will then very politely nudge you to say, make way for others who can do better and help people grow.
All right. And with that, we've seen how he's received over 15 national awards from various countries, and we've seen how India has come up, and the term global north and global south is something which I think he's coined during Modi's time.
He coined the global south. The global north responded accordingly.
So why is that today we see Modi and India, and I would say Modi is just a reflection of what our progressive India is. Why is that India has a seat at the table, shoulder to shoulder with other
Because
countries?
he didn't wait for a seat at anybody else's table. He made his own table. And I think that's the difference. Because we have been, as a people, subjugated to the whims and fancies of many a regions and many a specific needs. Indians, generations before us, and I see many seniors sitting here, they've had it much more tougher. And I think Narendra Modi's speciality is that he's very observant of what challenges generations have faced before us. So there is a time, and Dr. Sahasrabuddhe can possibly attest to it, that we looked at people who left our country and settled overseas or went to work overseas from the prism of brain drain. Prime Minister Modi flipped that coin and said that the best of Indian potential can be exhibited through Indians who are right now serving different geographies around the world, but are doing so professionally. They become the best exhibits, the best ambassadors of India. So today the Deputy High Commissioner is here, but I think he will join cause by saying Modi has ensured that every Indian outside is now the ambassador of India.
Indeed. And we've seen the Pravasi Bharati Divas, the annual day where
Do you know what the word Pravasi means? Oh, I'm testing his Hindi.
Diaspora?
I'm being a bit cheeky, given that he began his speech in Hindi.
I have to admit, but Hindi is not my first language.
So Pravas, and Kuldeep ji here is better at explaining it. Pravas is traveling. So he does not say that your destination is overseas.